The main force patrol is a perfect example of what happens when institutions start failing. They still have authority and some badass leather uniforms and cars, but people don't respect them as much as they used to, and trust in the force has almost hit rock bottom. Courts let criminals go unpunished, and the justice system is a barely existing joke, all the while cops are getting killed and nobody cares. Max and Goose are still burning gasoline on the road every day because that's what they do, since they are certified badasses, but you can see in their eyes that they know everything will be over soon.
In the not too distant future, there will only be madmen and the main force patrol.
I feel like that's law enforcement in a lot of places right now. Underfunded, overworked, caught between communities that don't trust them and governments that don't support them. The way the movie handles society falling apart feels closer to the modern world than most polished dystopian films. There's no big speech explaining the downfall or history lesson. Everything is implied through empty landscapes, gutted buildings, and people who act like they've been surviving crisis after crisis for years.
Look, any longer out on that road and I'm one of them, you know? A terminal crazy. Only I got a bronze badge to say I'm one of the good guys.
It's my prisoner. He's not walking out that door. Get him out of here. Okay. So long as the paperwork's clean, you boys can do what you like out there.
Even the way the villains operate feels timeless. They're not supervillains or cartoon monsters. They're reckless, angry, and directionless people who take advantage of a world where the rules don't matter as much anymore. They roll through towns like maniacs, leaving chaos behind, and the system can't keep up. There's something almost prophetic about how Miller captured that sense of society losing control long before the collapse becomes official.
Jesus Christ, you're not going to let him walk out the door, Fifi.
That's exactly what you're going to do.
Shut up. I'll tell you. He sings and I tap dance. Okay, hey, you don't have to stand for this.
The court. This man is grossly offensive.
Toe Cutter and his gang just roam around the highways, terrorizing people because they can. The Knight Rider broadcasts his joyride over the radio like he's hosting a show while Max chases him to his death. That's performative violence for an audience, almost like live streaming destruction. We've got people now who commit crimes specifically to film them. They treat violence like content and will do anything for some views and skip further and further into degeneracy and brain rot. And then there's Max himself, a burned out and exhausted badass who's still holding on to whatever is left of his humanity. He starts the film as one of the last people still trying to do things the right way and live a relatively normal life, but the world keeps grinding him down until he snaps. That slow death of hope feels like it was pulled straight from the headlines decades later, where people get stuck between trying to keep a system alive and realizing the system isn't built to survive anymore. Max becomes the embodiment of someone who tried, was knocked down and betrayed by the world, and is now hellbent for blood and leather. The film's style contributes a lot to the atmosphere and the feeling of hopelessness. The silent dusty roads, the patched together leather gear, which honestly looks so damn cool, the loud engines or the empty landscapes, it all creates this atmosphere of isolation. It's not the future full of neon and chrome like you see in a cyberpunk setting or Terminator. It's the future where everyone's just doing whatever they can to get through another day. And the reliance on vehicles, fuel, and violent territory control ends up echoing real-world problems problems more than the filmmakers probably expected. We already have plenty of oil shortages, climate breakdowns due to climate change, and rising tensions. The movie caught all of it before those things became as relevant as they are now. There's something about the way Mad Max shows the world ending not with one big event, but with a long, quiet collapse that makes it feel so close to home now.
People don't believe in heroes anymore. Well, damn them! You won't be Max. We're gonna give her back to heroes.
It predicted a future where chaos creeps in around the edges while everyone tries to pretend everything's normal. To me, that's what makes Mad Max feel almost prophetic. It doesn't try to shock or impress you with big futuristic ideas. It just shows people living through the slow death of society, holding on to whatever scraps of stability they can. And decades later, the vision of that world feels closer than ever. Mad Max has always reminded me of old late-night TV marathons where the picture flickers and you can hear the tape dragging just a bit. Mad Max fits right into that space, a little rough and raw and completely unforgettable because of it. Whenever I go back to the original Mad Max, I'm always struck by how much it feels less like a movie from the late 70s and more like a warning taped over on some forgotten cassette. There's a rawness to it that hits different now, like George Miller was sketching out a version of the future that ended up landing way closer to reality than anyone expected. It's not some shiny sci-fi adventure or stylish dystopia, but burned out highways and a society stretched extremely thin.
In a future world gone mad, there will be no law, there will be no justice. The only hope for civilization will be Max of the main force patrol. You don't want to make Max mad. Mad Max, the maximum force of the future. Rated R.